make it happen. You gotta make it happen. You follow long enough, now it's time to be the captain. Look inside yourself and you gotta believe you can do anything if you follow your dreams. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. You follow long enough, now it's time to be the captain. Look inside yourself and you gotta believe you can do anything if you follow your dreams. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right.
Welcome to Making It Happen. I'm your host, Tasha Mack, and today we have Chef Leo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Tasha. How are you?
I'm great. What do you got going on for us?
Well, today I'm going to make a herb marinated salmon salad for us. Basic components in the marinade. You have your oil, your vinegar, you have some herbs and some seasoning just to give it nice. You want to make sure you marinate your salmon at least 24 hours so it can really soak in all that flavor that you want. And basic components for our salad, we got some mixed greens, we're going to have some craisins, some crumbled blue cheese, and some great pecans. You know, we live in the South, so pecans are great, especially, you know, coming out of the winter, and that was the time for season. And then for our dressing, I'm going to make a citrus vinaigrette. You know, some of the components in the citrus vinaigrette, most people have this at home in their cabinet and just don't realize it. We're going to have a little bit of white balsamic vinegar, apple cider vinegar, your basic oil. You can use olive oil, you can use canola oil, you can use vegetable oil, any type of oil that's really great for a nice vinaigrette. We're gonna use some concentrated orange juice. Now, this is not the orange juice that you normally drink for morning for breakfast. It's the concentrated. It's the kind that you literally have to mix with water to make the orange juice. And the reason why you want to use that because the flavor of the oranges is very concentrated and it's good for your dressing. Then we're gonna use a little Dijon vinaigrette to help with the emulsification, a little bit of sugar and salt, pepper, and some parsley.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah, so first thing I'm gonna do is I have my salmon here, and my salmon was basically marinated for 24 hours. And this salmon in particular has the skin on the back. Now, you can find salmon at your local grocer. You can find it at a fish market, meat market, anything like that. Typically, most of the time you will get it. If you go to a market, you will have it where it is literally have the skin on it. Now, it's easy. The skin is easily to remove. You can do this with any type of held whole kitchen knife or anything like that. And basically what you want to do is you want to cut a little tip end of the salmon to get down to the skin. And then you're going to take your knife and you're going to run your knife along the bottom end of that salmon so you can get that skin off of it. It's a really easy task. Make sure you just hold it tight. Don't worry, make sure your knife is good. That way you don't have to worry about cutting yourself and stuff like that, because a lot of people don't realize that a dull knife is way more dangerous than a sharp knife.
Right.
So you just rub your knife right along the bottom of that salmon and that takes the skin right off.
Wow.
Just like that.
Nice.
Okay? Now I'm gonna do that for my other piece of salmon as well. And now, the good thing with salmon is the best type of salmon to me, now this is just my opinion and my opinion alone, is good old Alaskan salmon. Alaskan salmon is a really great brand of salmon to buy, because typically it's caught in the Alaskan Ocean, and you know that the water up there is real cold, so the meat is really good.
Right.
This is Alaskan salmon. Now, this was you can find it pre-packaged, you can find it fresh. It really depends on how you want it. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my salmon on my George Foreman to grill up. And basically what you wanna do is use any type of non-pan stick spray. Spray your grill really good, because you don't want it to stick. Now, the thing about salmon is, or any other fish, you don't want to overcook it. Okay. Because if you overcook it, it dries out, the meat's not good. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do it, but you don't want to do that. You just want to let your salmon cook. Now, your salmon don't take no more than about 3-4 minutes tops to cook. And get that salmon on there. And while my salmon is cooking, we're going to go ahead and get started and make our dressing.
Okay. Well, while the salmon's cooking and we're about to start to make the dressing, I'd like to ask you, at what point in time in your life did you determine or decide that you want to be a chef?
You know what? That's a funny story, and you will be amazed at how I got to where I'm at now. I started cooking around roughly when I was about 13 years old. My grandma taught me how to cook. I baked my first cake at the age of 13, but I didn't realize that this was my calling until I was in my 30s. Literally, I went to Morris College for my undergraduate degree, got my bachelor's in political science, then I went on to Bowling Green State University and got my master's in public administration because I was solely set on going in the nonprofit arena and working and giving back. Because I really felt like that's where I want to do what I want to do in life. But then once I got into that career, I realized that it wasn't for me. So I always was working in restaurants throughout high school and college and stuff like that. So that's where I sort of ended up. And then eventually I just got to the point where I was just tired of working for people and working, not being able to feel fulfilled, so to speak. So I decided to go back to school, and I enrolled in the Art Institute of Charlotte, and that's where I started my culinary career, so to speak.
Awesome. I smell the salmon. It smells so good.
Yeah, and you can look at it, and as you can see, the salmon is cooking. It don't take long, especially with George Foreman. George Foreman's really help with the cooking and
On both sides, right?
On both sides.
Yeah.
So all you literally have to do is put it on there, and it go on its own. So the salmon will be ready in a few minutes.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is go ahead and get started on our dressing.
All right.
Now, with your dressing, like I said, this is roughly about a cup of concentrated orange juice, because you want that concentrated orange flavor in your dressing. You know, and with any great vinaigrette, it's all about making sure you have the great flavor and the great mix of vinegars and oil, because that's basically what it is. Now, I have a little bit of white balsamic. Now, white balsamic is just like your regular balsamic, but it's made with a white grape versus the dark grape, like your dark balsamic. This is the apple cider vinegar, and basically apple cider vinegar, you know, is made with apples. Literally, the apples is concentrated in the vinegar mixture and is made. Then this right here is a blended oil. It's blended with canola and olive oil, which is really good because everybody know olive oil is really healthy for you. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar in there, give it a little sweetness, add a little bit of salt. Then we're gonna add some Dijon. Now the reason why you're gonna use some Dijon, the Dijon help emulsify your vinaigrette, and so it won't have that oily flavor, and also so it won't separate. Because you know with most vinaigrettes, it separates really easy.
Yeah, I don't
so
like that.
basically, that's what we're gonna do here. Take it, blend it up a little bit. You can pulse it so you won't have to make a mess. You want to make sure it blends. As you can see, all your ingredients are blended up really good. That's basically what you want.
I smell that salmon too.
Now at the time, we're going to take a look at our salmon because you can smell the aroma and smell the flavor.
Man.
Look at that beautiful color
Beautiful.
and everything.
Wow.
We're going to go ahead and get our salmon off because that is ready. Nice. And we'll set our salmon aside here so you can see how that looks. And now we got our dressing ready. And basically always want to make sure you taste your dressings and stuff like that for flavor and make sure everything is good. So you just take it. It's perfect. Perfect. So now our dressing is ready.
All right.
Now, you know, and so that's basically your basic components for your salad, for our salad that we're gonna make here today. Now we have our mixed greens, we have our pecans, we have our gorgonzola, and we have our cranberries. Now, these are simple ingredients. It's something you can do on any spring day. You know, if you want to eat, eat healthy, eat light. You know, salads are always the way to go. And you can make this same salad with any other type of meat. You can do it with some grilled chicken. You can do it with grilled beef. It really don't matter. It's totally up to you on what your flavors are and stuff like that.
How important is health in what you do as far as a chef?
You know, health is really important. You know, nowadays, especially in the African American community, diabetes run high cholesterol runs high and stuff like that. So we really have to pay attention and watch what we eat. Now, the good thing about using a vinaigrette versus your ranches and things like that is because the vinaigrette have components that can help lower your cholesterol and stuff like that. So that's why it's really important that we are really health conscious and be aware of some of the ingredients that's going into what we're planning on eating.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Now, what we're gonna do with our salad, Now, typically, most people take their salad and they just pour a whole bunch of dressing on it. You don't really have to do that. You don't need a lot of dressing on your salad. The key to dressing your salad is to dress your lettuce because that's the flavor and that's what you're going to take most. And it don't take much. It take about maybe 2-3 tablespoons of dressing for a nice size salad, especially if you're gonna eat dinner and stuff like that. Basically, what you do is just take a little bit of dressing, you pour on your salad, on your lettuce. The key is to make sure you actually dress your lettuce first. And the reason why you want to do that, because the lettuce is your main component in your salad.
Right.
So you want to make sure you dress your lettuce, and just toss it with with your vinaigrette and stuff like that. Toss it really well. Then you add some of your other components. Here go the pecans. Because you want to make sure each component have the dressing on it. So when you toss your dressing first, your lettuce first with your dressing, it's going to have that components. Then you make sure that, your pecans and everything. And then you add a little bit of your blue cheese crumbles.
The dressing smells great too.
Yeah. And then when you plating this up, get some, make sure when you plate, you have all your ingredients in there. You plate that up real good. Nicely, like that. Okay, there, and then what you can do is you add a little more extra. Somebody like everybody flavoring when it comes down to cheese is a little different. Flavor when it comes down to their fruits and vegetables is a little different. So you can add what you want, but this is your key components are already dressed real good. So this is just adding like extra little bit of garnish on it for you. So you can get those extra nice natural flavors and bite. Everybody's different. You can toast your pecans, you can toast your walnuts or any type of things like that you may want to have on it. And it's all totally fine. It's totally up to you. Then you're gonna take that salmon and lay it right on top, just like that. And there you go.
Wow.
You got your nice lunch. And this took us every bit of 5-10 minutes to do. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. And this is a total complete meal. If you want to do a nice salad for dinner, do a nice salad for lunch, here you go. It's healthy. It has all the components you need in there. You got your protein because you have your protein in your salmon. You got your fruit because you got your craisins in there. And what craisins is just dried cranberries.
Right.
The flavor in it is very concentrated and it looks better. You got your cheese because you got your blue cheese crumble on there. Blue cheese is really, really good for you. It's healthy for you and everything. So there you go.
Well, that was really quick, easy, and it smells really great.
Exactly. And when I went into business for myself, my company is called The Right Touch Enterprise. It took a while to get there because you're always nervous about starting your own business and stepping out on faith and just being there, But I told myself, I was like, I don't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life.
Right.
I don't want to be punching the clock or trying to make sure that I'm doing what's right or stepping in. So I was like, it's time for me to become my own boss.
Right.
So back in 2010 is when I first started my first business. It's called BMW Enterprise. I had 2 business partners. Then solely all I did was wedding planning, decorating, and stuff like that. Didn't do much on the catering side. But then in 2012, I decided to, I'm in school now, studying culinary arts. Why not start my own catering business?
Right.
People were telling me for the longest. It was like, they was like, Leo, why don't you just go ahead and do your own thing? You're good at it. You make your food. It looks good and everything like that. So that's what I did. So in 2012, I actually did my first event. It was a photo shoot where I just did a few things just to see what it was and stuff like that. And ever since then, things has been going great. So now I have a full-fledged catering company. I also do wedding and event planning and all that. And on top of that, I'm also the executive chef for the Unique Southern Estates.
Wow, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me how you manage to stay so innovative and what motivates you?
Well, what really motivates me is my daughter. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and growing up, my mother worked extremely hard to put me through college and stuff like that. And I was like, I wanted, when my daughter gets my age, I want it to be sort of easy for her. Not to where, she can work if she wants to, but don't have to, because I want to leave a legacy. A lot of time in the African American community, we don't leave legacy for our kids to follow. So that's something I want to do. So that's my motivation. Every day I wake up in the morning, it's because of her. Every day when I lay down at night, it's because of her. I do what I do and I strive as hard as I strive and do the things I do, rather it's doing cooking demos, rather it's doing catering events, working my full-time job, and all that is because of my daughter.
How do you stay innovative as a chef?
Innovation is easy. I'm a very creative person, so the innovation part of it with me, it comes sometime when I'm sleeping, sometime when I'm in the bathroom, sometime I'm cooking something for someone else, sometime I may be at a restaurant. So life is my innovation. Life is my creativity. Things that goes on in my life, or I'm at a restaurant eating dinner with friends, whatever it matters. And I may taste something and be like, this is horrible. So then I go home and recreate it. That's what thing come, and that's how it comes to me.
Well, that's really cool. With all the sacrifices, what is the biggest sacrifice that you would have to say that really, makes you feel as if, okay, I have to sacrifice this, that for me is time, You know what? That's really what it is. It's time, because there's a lot of times I would rather go on a trip with my friends, or I would rather go to a party one night, but knowing I can't go to that party because I have to be up 6 o'clock in the morning because I got a catering event that day. Right. One of the things about success comes with sacrifice. Mm-hmm. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, it don't matter. You make the sacrifice now. That way, in the long run, you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, time is a huge sacrifice, because sometimes literally I may get 2 hours of sleep because I didn't get home until 4 o'clock in the morning because I was prepping for a wedding that I know I have to be up 8 o'clock in the morning the next morning to make sure I get everything together. So it's about time. But you know what? With any successful person, it comes at sacrifice, and that all my duties and due diligence that I've been doing will pay off in the long run. We're talking about time. I was just thinking, as an entrepreneur, I still get up at 6 a.m. because you're basically working for yourself. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, what are some of the things that you do as far as professionally and personally that you were doing whenever you were in the work field? One thing I do, is even though time is of the essence and it seems like it's never enough time in the day, I try to still make time for those important things. For example, my daughter, she does dance, so I try to make her dance recital every now and then. And it comes with managing your time and your people. That's really important, because I do have people, who work for me, and it's just a sense of making sure that you have the right people in the right place at the right time, and finding a good group and a good team of people that can work with you and work just as well as you when you're not there. That's really, really important, and it's really hard to find. One of my biggest cheerleader, biggest teammate is my mama. My mama, when I started my business, she told me, because I left my full-time job to do my business full-time at the time, and she's like, she said, if you are serious and you're ready to put in a sacrifice, I got you. And she has had me ever since. Well, how do you weed out those people that say, oh, I want to be on Team Leo, but then they don't want to do the Team Leo work? How do you find a way to weed out those people that are constantly coming at you trying to get on the Leo team? Well, it's hard. It's really, really hard. And believe it, it's come with trial and error. You just have to truly pray that the right people come in your path, but that's not always going to happen. So what you need to do is you just have to go with it. Sometimes it's trying them out and giving second chances, because sometimes if you talk to people and you communicate with them properly and let them know what they're not doing and what they should be doing, it helps and it works in your favor. Mm-hmm. But it's really hard to just weed them out in the beginning. It's really on a trial by trial basis. You're gonna meet people who are gonna talk all this, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I can do this, yeah, I can do that, and it's just basically by trusting in them that they can actually do what they do. And if it don't work out, just don't work out. Don't worry about it. Just move on and keep on moving. What advice could you give someone that wanted to follow their dreams and achieve this great success? What I can tell you is, trust in yourself, trust in God, and believe
wholeheartedly believe in everything you can do. And never think that you are any less than anyone else. You know, your skill is your skill for a specific reason. You are good at what you do for a specific reason. Everybody, yes, there may be people out there better than you. There may be people out there who can do things better than you, but never downplay yourself just because of them. You can do anything you do if you set your mind to it and you're willing to do the work that is necessary to get the job done.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Well, how do you manage, with all the success you have, how do you manage to stay so humble?
My grandma. My grandmother, my grandma helped raise me, and she will always tell me, never forget where you come from. You know, with everything that's going on in my life, with, you know, TV appearances, doing this, doing that, you know, nothing keeps me more grounded than my grandma and my God and my daughter. You know, knowing that I am who I am because God allowed it to happen. And I am who I am because of the way my grandma helped to raise me. And I am who I am because what I want my daughter to see. You know, I don't want my daughter to see a cocky, conceited guy and be like, that, because that's what she will look for. And I don't want her to look, I want her to look for somebody who's humble, somebody who's down to earth, and somebody who just, you know, take life for what it is and, you know, things like that. You know, so regardless of whatever fame I may get or wherever I may go in life, I will never be too big for nobody and never be too big to help anyone else, because there was somebody who helped me. You know, I wouldn't be without a helping hand. You know, you can't get to where you at by yourself.
Right.
You know, and you will never be able to get to no level of success by yourself. So to understand and know that, you will be a better person, and it will make you a better person, and it will make you even more successful. You know, it's no point in being successful by yourself.
Well, where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years?
You know, that's a good question. I definitely see myself growing as a chef, creating. I definitely hope to have at least my first cookbook out, because I am working on that, of recipes that I'm creating in the process of me throughout my career. Hopefully have my own cooking show. That's definitely an inspiration I have, because I feel that I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of things that I want to share to America, and, you know, just let them know that, you know, if I did it, you know, I'm just a young boy from the country, grew up in the projects. You know, if I did it, you can do it.
Right.
You know, in sense of, you know, letting them know that you can do anything you set your mind to if you're willing to work hard for it. So.
Okay. Well, if there was any recipe that you could just throw out, what would be your best recipe that you could just throw out there?
One of my best recipes that everyone seems to love is I make a lobster crab mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a recipe that I actually developed when I was in culinary school. With the assistance of some of my instructors who helped to just bounce idea off of and things like that. But that is definitely my top recipe. You know, every time I'm doing a social gathering at my house, people want it. It's like, you making that lobster crab mac and cheese? You making that lobster crab? You know, they always want it. It's a really, really good dish, and it's something I'm really, really proud of.
Okay. Well, as a mom, because I'm a mom and a wife, I just want to know exactly, real quick, I mean, how can we manage to keep costs low and still prepare these healthy meals?
You know, one way of doing that is going to your local farmer's market. You know, most areas have a farmer's market that open on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. You know, I suggest that, you know, any mother that have young kids who want to cook healthy to feed their children, definitely do that. And the reason being is because at your local farmer's market, you don't have to worry about, they are locally grown. You know, they have to worry about they can't use certain pesticides, so you don't have to worry about the harm with the fruits and the vegetables for you and your family. So that would be my suggestion. You know, definitely in the peak of the summer, you know, starting like in the end of April, going throughout September, most farmers market have a lot of fresh vegetables, fresh produce. They have a lot of fresh meat, locally sourced meat. You know, all those are really, really good, because, you know, when you buy stuff at your local grocers and things like that, you know, the way they grow, those are farm raised items. So, in the way they do those stuff, not necessarily say it's harmful to you, but they're not the healthiest. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking about health conscious, then you definitely want to be more organic. And when you go organic, it means that it's locally grown. That means you can literally go the farm probably within 5-10 miles away from where you live in a close nearby city or town like that. So that would be my suggestion. And I will say sometimes it can get a little pricey. So on the economical side of things that you want to do, I would suggest that you find some, connections with some of the local farmers and stuff like that. Because when you go to these farmers market, talk to the people. Talk to them. A lot of times they'll work deals out with you.
Build a relationship.
Build a relationship. A lot of them will take things, a lot of them will be more convenient and more willing to work with somebody individually if they know that, especially if you know that your child has a specific dietary needs and things like that.
Right.
You have to be willing to do that.
Okay. Well, that sounds really great. So give us a rundown of what we had today.
So today, like I said, we had a herb marinated grilled salmon salad. It's an herb marinated grilled salmon. Then we have our salad is mixed greens with some crumbled blue cheese, craisins, some pecans, and then we dress it with a citrus vinaigrette dressing.
And how long did that take us to make?
It takes us literally about 5 minutes to make this whole entire dish.
And we can pick all this up here at the local market. Easy to prepare.
Easy to prepare.
Healthy.
Low cost.
And very effective.
Exactly.
For the family.
And it's good more than anything.
More than anything. Okay. Well, other than that, I would like to ask you just a personal question. If you could cook for anybody in the world, who would you want to cook for?
I have 2 people I would love to cook for. One is Candy Burris.
Candy?
From the Real Housewife of Atlanta.
Candy, if you ever watched the show.
I love her because she's a real savvy businesswoman.
Okay.
And the next one is Oprah. And it's just a sense of talking to Oprah. Oprah is somebody who does a lot of gardening and stuff like that. And I would love to just sit down, talk with her, and just cook with her.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it first. Chef Wright would like to cook for Candy Burris and Oprah. Oprah, Candy Burris, if you're watching my show, take time out, reach out to me, and maybe we could get you on the show and have Chef Wright prepare something for us. Chef, I really appreciate you coming by. It's been a pleasure. Yes. It was a wonder. If you have any questions regarding my show, please go to my YouTube channel, the Mac Group Productions, and you could email me at themacgroupproductions@gmail.com. Thank you.
Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right. Make it happen. You gotta make it happen. That's right.